Hey guys, what's going on? Ben here. So I got the card. I got the big Grail card in my collection. It's been a goal of mine, and I'm going to show you guys the card. But there's a little more than that to this video. And what I want to walk through is the process because I am, as I've talked about before, a dad of two. I have a wife, a mortgage, day-to-day, bills. I am not a high roller by any means. Really, for me, anything over like a $250 card is something that's I gotta plan, and that's how I go about this hobby for the most part. Unless I have the funds already there in eBay or ComC from stuff I've sold, but for the most part, that's my philosophy. Uh, and apologize for the hood. It's freezing down here, but this card, I worked to save. I used some of my personal money, but I used a lot of card money, and it's hard. It is hard to save and not spend, going through the process because there are always cards that come up that you want. And so I want to outline that with you guys today, what I sold, and I will go through specifically pretty much since July. I've been kind of on this track, and I'm going to show you guys on eBay what I've sold to get to this point and how much that kind of amounted to towards this card. Because it's a process. I sold a lot of cool cards, a lot of cards that I like. It's not there was nothing that I didn't like about them, but this was a card that I was aiming towards, and I wanted this big card. And this card, for reference, was about a $1,700 card. I've never purchased a card that big, ever. And so to do that, I really needed to be disciplined and stick to what I wanted to do in this hobby, which was sell those cards that I didn't want. You guys saw I got mail days here and there, but for the most part, they were pretty low-end mail days. My sets, cheap cards, things that wouldn't break the bank and wouldn't affect this goal. So I'm going to show you guys this process now. I'm going to go kind of scroll through my eBay, and then I'm going to do a Google sheet and just kind of show you how much it all amounted to towards this, because I think it's important. We come on here on YouTube and we show, oh, I got this amazing card, but how did you do that? Because a lot of people watching these videos, it seems unattainable. It really does. Because I look at people that are buying and selling these cards, and I'm like, how do they even ever get this card? That's like such a big card. They must be super rich, and that's not the case. I'm not that anyone who owns this card is super rich, but my point is, I think it's important to look at the process and how someone might go about buying a card like this. And for me, who doesn't spend big on cards, this is probably my only $1,000 plus card in my collection, literally. I have some great cards that are maybe right under that threshold, but I don't have a boatload of $1,000 cards. So yeah, this card is a huge one. I'm super excited to have it in my collection. I'm going to show you guys what I did to get here, and then I'm going to show you guys the card, obviously. So stay tuned. Thanks. All right, guys. So I am going to show you all the things I sold from July on, and right off the bat, you guys can see the prices on the right, and I will add this up for everyone here. But we have a couple low dollar stuff. Then we have an $85 PSA 10 Mike Piazza, another cool card, but one I felt that I didn't need anymore. Something from my wife there, and then we have a nice Jackie Young PSA 10 rookie auto, 138. Life TCG, I had that 109. Here's a couple like $30 to $40 sales there. We had a PSA 9 Mike Piazza, $40. The Tarasi PSA 10 there, 87. The Odyssey Sims was a big one. That one sold for a total of 305. Some sealed Pokemon that I had sold for about 200 on that. There is some soccer, some Hogwarts, again in the $30-$40 range. Just a bunch of cards that I felt like I could get rid of. This Cactus Jack, this doesn't count in my opinion because I actually bought this and took a loss. I sold it. I thought it was going to be a better product than it was. So this certainly wouldn't count in that total, and I won't count it. Same with this Marvel box. I bought those two in the intention of reselling, and I paid for them So those won't count in the total as far as profit. Red refractor here, the couple, $10-15 sales, and now we're getting into October. This Champs box right here, which was one I sold that I've had for a while but thought I needed a little extra. And then we're just coming right up to that Josh Gibson, which was one of the last cards that I sold to get that purchase. So right up to that October 22nd, I guess this Pokemon one is involved too. But November, those are all afterwards. So those are all the cards that I kind of sold towards that. It might not seem like a lot, but I'll add that up and kind of show you guys what that looks like. This one, as you can see, was refunded. The slab actually broke in the mail in transit, unfortunately, so that was a refund. Happens, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys the breakdown here and how that kind of works out. And I know it doesn't look like a lot, but it adds up to a big chunk of what this card costs. So let me show you guys. Did a report on eBay. I tried to make it as fair as possible. As far as an exact cost, I did the sold for and then kind of what eBay collected with the tax. So it's pretty much all encompassing. And this is what I came up with as far as how much I was able to kind of build up in just cash for cards in this period of time. And it was cards that I'm okay with parting with. Some are great cards, but again, we come down here and it was a total of $1,544.84. Which was the total of what I sold. Then there was $206.01 in fees. Some of the ones that have blank fees, they did not come up on eBay for some reason. I'm not exactly sure what the reasoning for that was. It could have been just a state, but so that could be maybe a $5-10 more. But my total after all that profit fees was $1,338.83. So all that coming out to about $1,350 or so, obviously a little less, but when the card with taxes and everything was about $1,750, I only had to shell out about $400, maybe $450 out of my own pocket for this card. And to do that and to think about that, like that's a great feeling for a card like that. So I implore you, if there is a card that you are trying to get, it just takes discipline and just work through that. Just narrow mind, focus. Blinders on. It's so easy just to find the next great card. But if you have a card you really want, just focus on it. That's all. All right, so you guys saw that breakdown, kind of how it worked out to get to that point. Like I said, I did put some of my own money in as well, but it was it was an okay amount to where we were comfortable as a family and I was comfortable doing that. But now, the card. I've made you guys wait long enough, and this is a Grail card for me. I know Grail could be debated, but this is absolutely a Grail card for me. And it was my goal for this year. It was my goal to get this card, and I got it. This is a 1934 Gaudi Hank Greenberg. And this is such a meaningful card for me in so many ways. And I apologize for any glare. I could see if I can fix that a little bit. That might have made it worse, but that's okay. Hank Greenberg, one of the first Jewish players in the majors. For those that don't know, I am Jewish as well. And so this card is very meaningful to me. There's a lot in my family's past that, him going to World War II and all that stuff, it definitely affects me, not to get into all of it, but this card has always been on my list. Hank Greenberg as a player, Henry Greenberg. Henry is my grandpa's name as well. And this card has just always been something that I've wanted, something that's felt unattainable, because you can find, a $700-800 copy that's crumpled up, and I don't want necessarily a crumpled up copy, but for a 1.5, this presents extremely well. It went for a premium. I think I paid the most ever in a 1.5 for this card, but the centering is just unmatched. Really almost perfect centering. A lot of times you see this card way off center. And it really has great eye appeal for the grade. The main reason it has a 1.5 is that, see that crease over there, and definitely a little bit of staining, but it presents so well. And this card is going to be, you know, passed down to my kids and stay in the family for a long time. This is an incredible card, one I'm just so grateful to have, and one I thought I never would have. So yeah, so this is a big one for me. This is a big one. I'm not going to have anything this big this year. Probably not going to have anything this big next year. This is my biggest card ever, and you know, it's crazy to have this in hand. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you stayed to the end to actually see the card. I apologize if I made you wait too long, but like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.